founder of Avilu, Wolfgang Berger. Wolfgang, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me.
Dude, you've got a headset. I need to get a headset one of these days. That is
Yes.
very cool. So we appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for coming. You're going to talk to us about something that in my mind is a fascinating problem in all of automotive. You've got used car managers, you have the consumer public out there trying to figure out how to buy an EV well. And on the reverse side, you've got the reality that the most expensive component of an EV, Yuli, we talked about this. Ford F-150, what was the battery replacement on that Ford F-150?
74,000, something
Yeah.
like that. It was
So,
yeah.
so when
Yeah.
when you're buying a used EV, you can't afford to make a mistake on figuring out the condition of that battery. So, as kind of a setup to that, Wolfgang, I'd ask, how's biz in your world, in your company, and then what do you do? And tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, business is great for us. The used market for EVs is picking up around the world, and as you know, we sell our battery test in Europe, in Asia, and of course in the United States. And the first waves of used EVs are coming in, hitting the used car markets, and we help car dealerships selling them at a better price with the help of our battery testing system.
That's very cool. Very cool. So, is there, you've got a battery test that will give the consumer and will give car dealers a picture of the battery. How does it work? Like, how does that proactively work? A battery test in this case.
Yeah, I think best I just show you that very quickly on a vehicle. By
Yuli,
coincidence, we
this
we
has
got
never
one.
happened before. We got a
We,
live demo. Holy
we got
cow!
one.
This is a Daily Dealer Live industry first. A
Yeah, we
live
got one
demo.
here.
Very cool.
That's a Volkswagen ID.4,
Okay.
full electric, and in the center of our system is the Avila box. That's how it looks like. And
Okay.
what it does, it connects to the so-called OBD port of the vehicle. And really, everything you have to do is switch on the vehicle, make sure it's on, and then connect the box to the OBD port. We do that here with the help of a OBD extension cable that comes in the case that we ship. And that's about it. You do not need to enter any data, any app, or anything. The box itself already comes with a SIM card built in, so it gets the internet connection via the 3G network and starts sending data back to our cloud system, back to our servers, where we have developed machine learning systems and algorithm that can independently conclude to what is called the state of health of the battery, what is ultimately telling you how good is that battery working. And that result is then handed out to a customer, in form of a battery certificate. You see the state of health. Again,
very
that's a
cool.
number in percentage. It's like 97.9% in that case. And that gives the confidence to the consumer when he is buying a used electric car. Because you're totally right. The battery is tremendously expensive. It's easily 50% of the whole vehicle value.
Yeah.
So you might want to check brakes, suspension, and everything, but the money sits in the battery, right?
So,
For sure.
so what are some of the things from your industry expertise that make an EV battery go bad, or what causes problems in the battery that a
Yeah,
used car
well,
manager might not realize?
there's a lot of issues that can happen in a battery. It can be from manufacturing, from the day of manufacturing. There could be a defect cell in the battery pack, and the weakest cell defines the whole battery pack. So if you got one weak cell, your capacity of the battery will go down, your range will go down. And then, of course, you have the usage of the car. I mean, we all know there are certain aspects that are not very good for a battery, like a lot of fast charging, a lot of high, strong accelerations, hot temperatures. And as a used car buyer, you obviously you don't know how that battery has been treated before, and that's what we tell you is the battery test. And what we do is we help the car dealer, right? We're the ally of the car dealer. We help the car dealer to sell an EV with confidence, and the numbers are showing that car dealers get all the way up to 500 or 1,000 euros, dollars, sorry, more for an EV if they put it on the market with one of our independent certificates.
So, what's the difference between this report and the status report that shows up on the dashboard of the EV? Like,
Well, you're probably referring to the state of charge, which is shown on the
Yeah,
dashboard, which
yeah.
has which
You
is
can
very
tell
different
I
from.
don't own an EV, so I'm just
Yeah, no,
I
no
probably need to
worries
go
at
buy
all.
one.
Yeah, you get the state of charge, which tells you the car is fully charged. But
Yeah,
even a bad battery can be fully charged, and you know that from the smartphone, right? When it's brand
yeah.
new, it's all good, and after 2 years, it's empty at lunchtime, even though it was fully
Mhm.
charged in the morning. And that's because these batteries, these lithium-ion batteries, they get worse over time. They degrade, right? They cannot store energy as good anymore. And the same thing happens in an EV traction battery worth tens of thousands of dollars. And that's why we need the battery test. The consumer wants to see it,
So
and they're ready to spend more.
so what makes your test so proprietary that you're able to provide information about the battery that the manufacturer of that EV doesn't provide on the dashboard? Like it seems to me, I get it in the gas engine.
Mm.
Uh, there may not be as much diagnostic stuff available to like give a report like that back. But in EVs, like it's in there somewhere. Like, why don't the OEMs, why don't the manufacturers make that available on the dashboard or in a report as a printout?
Well, it's a very complex matter. Yeah, we have a team of 80 people working on that for 7 years
Oh, wow.
now. I did start the company all the way back in 2016 when I got my first EV, and I was quickly sold on EV and thought about services that would be needed in the future. So it's a complex thing, and we spend a lot of time and effort to do that. But more importantly, even is that our test is independently, right? Is independent. You might not want to have the OEM telling you that his battery is great, right? You want an
Yeah.
independent
Mhm.
assessment from a third party inspection party, and that's the role we play as inspection company here, providing a test system that is independent. It's also harmonized across all brands. So we calculate the state of health in the same way, no matter if it's a BMW, a Ford, or any other brand. So it's that
So,
independent aspect that's really important.
so as you think about all the different manufacturers, Tesla and everybody else that does EVs, is there a type of vehicle that's tougher for you to pull this diagnostic report from as you spent all these years with all the engineers trying to come up with it?
Well, as you could probably guess, Tesla is making it more difficult than others. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still found a way. So there is, adapter cable that you need, but it comes in the box. And as a car dealership, you can test all different Tesla models, and you don't even need to know which model exactly it is. There's such a variety with different battery sizes. Our box, once it's connected, it's able to figure out exactly what battery variant is in the vehicle, and it'll be
Hmm.
printed on the report.
Wolfgang, do you agree then that if we're trying to focus on sound used EVs, which is going to be this next wave that's coming through, the
Yeah.
battery health is an even more important indicator of quality of the vehicle over mileage? Like, I think a traditional used car buyer is always sorting by price and miles. Do you think we're going to get to a point, or should we get to a point where we are leading with, hey, here's my used EV, it has 97% battery?
Absolutely. So we could even say the state of health is the new mileage, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have two exact vehicles with the same mileage even, and one has a great battery health and the other one doesn't. So the mileage doesn't help you a lot anymore, right? It still helps you on evaluating wear and tear on brakes and tires, but not on the battery anymore. And some used car platforms have already started to introduce filters and the value where you can even sort out vehicles and say, hey, show me only vehicles that have a battery test or that are above a certain state of health, right?
Wow.
And that's certainly going to be that value that defines the whole value of the used EV.
Do
Yeah.
you think that this will start to become a tool in service departments? Like, if I'm a customer, I've got my EV, I'm bringing it into the service department. Maybe I'm a GM dealer. Like, do you have some dealers that will plug it in, assess the health, and then they'll suggest repairs to the vehicle, to the battery, even replacement based on that health report?
Yes, absolutely. It can be used in the service business. Could also be offered to a customer as a service. And the good thing is that our battery test is really down to a cell level. So we are able to identify a defect cell and therefore a defect module, so that even it's helpful for a dealership to know which module could be replaced if we're talking about battery repairs. And we can identify that very cell that is causing the trouble.
Lauren Klein asks a great question online. She says, "Is there any kind of guarantee you offer with this information?" Thinking about like a Carfax buyback guarantee or something similar.
Yeah, that's a great question. Stay tuned on that. There is more to come. Something along those lines will be introduced early next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
um,
so what's the charge to a dealer for having this diagnostic tool in the store? How do you do that?
yeah. So what we do is we license the equipment. It's $40 per month and box. So per rooftop, one car dealership only needs one. So it's a relatively inexpensive device, and then we charge $35 per battery test. And what we see is that car dealers are able to sell their EVs for anywhere between $500 and $1,000 more if they put it online with one of our battery tests. So the 35 euros comes in multiple times easily.
So the per pull includes the certificate plus some sort of a link where if they want to post it online, it'll kind of like a Carfax report. Is that what you're saying?
It's quite similar to that. Yeah, the battery certificate is issued in real time. It's sent over to the car dealer as a email attachment, or some larger customers are using our API to integrate it directly into a dealer management system. And then they can use that and put it directly on the used car platform, so customers can see, hey, this is a tested vehicle. It has an Avilo battery certificate, so I can purchase this vehicle with confidence.
So EV rebates are over. I'm going to ask you as your last question to pontificate a little bit on what the future of EV looks like here in the United States. What do you make of demand in used cars for EVs over the next 6 months? Do you have any opinion or feedback on that?
Yes, I mean, currently we see relatively low prices for used EVs. That's not because these cars are bad, but of course there is always new cars coming in, bigger batteries, faster charging times. So technology evolves very quickly on EVs. But I think we have reached a point now where you can buy a 2, 3, 4-year-old EV without hesitation. Of course, as long as it has a battery test. And I'm pretty sure we'll see used EV prices rebounds and getting up again, because they're just very low now, and these are great cars. So if you're in the market for a used EV, go for it now. You get a lot of car for little money.
So what does a service department do? I've got let's say I've got a Tesla. It's a used car. I've already bought it. I run the test.
Mm-hmm.
The battery performance test says it's not good. What do I do with that car? Like,
Well, you might still have, there might still be a OEM warranty on it. So you have,
Yeah.
you have a proof in your hand that the battery needs repair or needs replacement. So it helps you a lot to turn back to, the OEM and claim battery warranty.
Yeah.
And ideally, as a on a car dealership side, right? If you're taking trade-ins, if you're buying EVs, you run the test before buying them, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
avoids you to buy any lemon here with a bad battery. And on the sales side, same. You run the test, and your customer will appreciate the transparency. And customer sees dealerships that offer that certificate just as way more trustworthy and reliable than dealerships that don't.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Really, you're working to solve a major concern. It's interesting.
Mhm.
You think about like plasma TVs 20 years ago, super expensive. They came down as the
Yeah.
technology got less expensive.
Mhm.
When do you think the cost of EV batteries will come down
Yeah.
commensurate with some of that other technology? What do you see the next 6, 12 months? Will we get some
Well,
relief?
the cost of batteries they came down a lot in the last 5 years, right? It's a long
Yeah.
process, not about 6 or 12 months, right? But I think we will very soon see price parity between gasoline cars and
Ooh.
EVs, right?
Ooh.
Where
Okay.
where you get a very nice EV for the same price as a gas car. And then, well, you can make your choice, yeah. But there's they're relatively simple cars. You don't have gearboxes that can break down, or clutches, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And of course, driving EVs, I love them. I love the acceleration and the power they have. But both cars are great. I'm also a
Yeah.
mechanical engineer, so I also love combustion engines.
Yeah. Well, Wolfgang Berger, founder of Evolue, we appreciate you being on the show, sharing your perspectives on all things EVs, battery health, and how to make sure how to avoid that time bomb of buying the wrong EV with a bad battery. Wolfgang,
Yeah,
appreciate you being on the
yeah.
show.
Thank you very much for having me. One last word: if you're at the digital
Yeah.
dealer week in Vegas or used car week in November, or as you mentioned at another show in February next year, we will be there. So
Very cool.
we can see you at any of these trade shows around the U.S.
Thank you. Thanks for the live demo too. That was super super cool. We've
Thank you
not
for
had that
having
yet,
me.
so thank you.